Caustic audit. The entire world should take exception to the recent protests on college campuses as students foolishly advocate for terror groups. Though this is not their intent, it is the result. I mention it here because these would-be academics embolden those who would carry out attacks from populated areas and would likely seek a grand world stage such as our beloved Olympics. But before we go there, let's get one thing straight. Palestine is a region, not a nation. The term Palestinian has been historically used in much the same way that current Americans use the term Midwesterner. The Palestinian Liberation Organization, or PLO, was a guerrilla warfare group going back to its origins 60 years ago. It was designated as a terrorist organization by the U.S. in 1987. A year later, the Palestinian Liberation Organization proclaimed itself the State of Palestine in an effort to gain legitimacy. 5 years after that, the PLO signed the 1993 Oslo Peace Accords with Israel, creating the Palestinian Authority. In 2007, internal divisions between Palestinian political factions led to a takeover of the Gaza Strip by Hamas. And of course, as we know, Hamas is a terror group, spun off from the Palestinian branch of the Muslim Brotherhood in the 1980s. It is unfortunate that war spills innocent blood, but as the Palestinian people don't have the ability to extract the terror groups from their homelands, assuming that they want to, they will either suffer at the hands of the terrorists if they resist, or at the hands of those that the terrorists target. That's it. That is the conflict in a nutshell, and your protests can't save them. So please don't empower the terrorist threat. If they were to target Paris, it won't have been the first Olympic attack on their behalf. Nope. A Palestinian militant group infiltrated the Olympic Village at the Games in Munich, West Germany in 1972. In that attack, Palestinian militants had the help of a neo-Nazi group, and they killed 2 members of the Israeli Olympic team while taking 9 others hostage. However, Palestine isn't the only source of a potential threat to these games, not by a long shot. You haven't heard much of ISIS recently, at least not since the killing of key leadership by U.S. Special Forces. So, you may not be aware of just how large that threat still is. Consider also the billions of dollars worth of U.S. military equipment that fell to the Taliban in a bungled withdrawal from Afghanistan. Hopefully, the world won't have to suffer the effects of that failure in Paris this summer. Remember also, the Games in Rio in 2016, where a group promoting the Islamic State were thankfully interrupted in the planning stages of an attack at those Olympic Games. Islamic Jihad has killed, tortured, or enslaved more than 500 million people since its emergence in the 7th century. And there have been more than 40,000 jihadist attacks just since the attack on the Twin Towers in New York City. Think about that, 40,000 attacks in just 20 years. With a high concentration of infidels, these games may be too tempting a target by terror groups. The International Center for Counterterrorism has emphasized that terrorist organizations view these major international events as prime targets to amplify their messages and instill fear. How I would love to go to Paris and take part in these events, but if you or a family member intend to go, please be encouraged to be careful, as the Olympic Games are spread out over many miles throughout and surrounding Paris. Some of your country's finest athletes are set to compete in these Olympic Games, and what a rare joy it would be to be part of that in person. But be aware and wary. Recent history has taught us painful lessons about our vulnerability at global events when we let our guard down. Thankfully, as we prepare for the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, French authorities and international partners are fortifying security protocols. But don't be foolish and wander as you take in the spirit of the Games. Know where you intend to go, keep your head up, be alert, and take note of where security is concentrated as you enter each venue. Together, let us uphold the values of unity, resilience, and peace as we look forward to celebrating the pursuit of athletic excellence that unites us at these events. And above all, enjoy the games in the heart of Paris. I'm Mark Scott. Thank you for watching this Caustic Audit.